Hi, thank you for joining me. Welcome to your reading. So today's reading is the person on your mind. What are they saying about you? What do they say behind your back? Not joking. But what are they telling people about you, all right? And we do have three groups you should choose from. We have group one, the rose quartz, group two, the blue apatite, and we also have group three, the pink tourmaline crystal. Okay, so group one, two, and three, what are they saying about you? So if you do want to take a moment to choose your group, go ahead, but I will see you in your readings. Hey, welcome to your reading. If you've chosen the first group, the rose quartz, then this reading is for you. What have they been saying about you? What are they telling people about you? We have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, and we also have the Tower card upright. Okay. Okay, so what they're saying about you is that you are showing very little or zero interest in them right now. They feel really down about this too, although they don't really mention that they're feeling down about it. They say they think you don't feel yourself around them and that and you can be kind of off around them too. They say they want to talk to you about their troubles. For some of you, this could be referring to their money troubles, troubles in terms of their stability, because they do feel like you would be able to give them good insight. But they feel as though, like they say that they don't really have the opportunity to talk to you about this stuff, or you just seem less interested or bothered to, deal with certain things that they do have going on, even if you aren't really aware of these troubles that they could be experiencing. They do mention you are too busy for them, and that there's been a misunderstanding between you both, and they tell people that. For some of you, this is not really a misunderstanding. It could just be they tell people that you aren't really on the same page anymore, that you don't really understand each other anymore, especially if you've maybe known each other for quite a while and you've grown. So because of that, they could feel like there is this misunderstanding. They do tell people you are on a tight budget. For some of you, they kind of say like, this is the reason why you don't really do stuff with them. They say that you actually maybe don't really have the money to do, certain things with them, certain things that they want to do. And they do mention there being someone in your life that you are stopping from experiencing certain opportunities. They say that you can be quite controlling of this person. This could even be referring to yourself, actually. So they do also mention you could be experiencing delays financially or work related. Maybe for some of you, this is more so about something taken off for you, especially if you have been doing something independently, whether that's a project, a business, self-employment. They say that this hasn't really taken off for you the way that you wanted it to take off. They definitely kind of talk about you being afraid to go broke, or you're afraid to not make it in some way. Like, say if you have a certain aspiration, you have a certain goal, that you're afraid to not achieve that goal. And because in their perspective at least, that because you are afraid to, not achieve certain goals and, certain aspirations that you have, that you can be quite closed off, or you can be quite controlling of yourself because of, the things that you want to achieve. They do kind of mention you being selfish, or you can be selfish. Not necessarily that you're selfish in general, because they actually do think of you as quite generous, but in certain ways they do feel like you can be maybe quite self-focused. I mean, the Ten of Wands flipped around, so maybe you do have a lot of responsibilities, or you do have a lot of. You see the camel with all those sticks on his back. Maybe you do have a lot of pressure on you. Maybe you are carrying a lot. But they also say that they're kind of like more onto you than you are them. Like they're kind of showing you more attention, or maybe even reaching out to you more than you reach out to them. They mention your relationship being rocky, being kind of chaotic. And for some of you, this could be about your relationships in general. It could be about your relationship in particular with them. But again, it could be about relationships in general for you. And they do mention your relationship not being able, or they feel like it won't be able to recover. And this could be recover in general, but for some of you, this is like a certain aspect of your relationship won't recover. Like if you had a solid friendship, or like a good banter with this person, they feel like that won't recover. Or maybe this is referring to quality time or trust, but like they do think a certain aspect of your relationship maybe won't get back to what it was. But they do mention that they've been through a lot and you don't even know. They also mention that they are afraid to tell you what they've been through. Why are they afraid to tell you what they've been through? For some of you, they could be afraid to tell you because they believe that you may be insensitive about it. It could be something else that you are more aware of, though. But yeah, they do tell people you kind of switched up on them unexpectedly. They say that you are both hurting each other, or in the past, you both were hurting each other, or this is something that could be like referring to the future. Maybe if you both continue on the path that you're on, that you will end up hurting each other. They also mention that you're avoiding them, or you're just not as available to them as you used to be, but it still feels like you're avoiding them, even if that's not your intention. Let me see, should I use them? Okay. All right. So we have hypocritical. I'm gonna put these here. So it feels like whoever they're talking to about you, it feels like whoever's that they're talking to, these people or this person, they're saying that you can be hypocritical, especially, because they've been hearing like you aren't kind of giving what this person gives like in return, if that makes sense. Like the balance is off, like they're giving more than you are. And because of this, these people could be calling you hypocritical. But it feels like the person that you're asking about is actually defending you and saying, nah, this person isn't hypocritical. Maybe they kind of just have a lot going on right now. So it feels like they, even though they do kind of vent, about your relationship, they do defend you, and, they kind of make it clear that you aren't really someone who is hypocritical or, let me see. Yeah. So we also have neat. So for some of you here, they do tell people that you are quite tidy, that you like maybe your space to, or you like things to have their place. Maybe you like for everything to have like its order. So we also have victim. So that was clarified by the Eight of Swords. For some of you, they do tell people that you are or just have been in situations where you have been the victim. Three of Swords as well. But for others of you, they do kind of say that maybe you do, even though you have been the victim, they kind of say you lean into that role. We also have versatile. So they also tell people that you do wear a lot of hats, like different hats. You play a lot of roles. So we have you are talented and amazing. So that was clarified by the Six of Wands. So they do tell people you are very talented. Like they tell people you are very creative. And we also have they broke your heart. So for a lot of you here, they do mention that you haven't recovered from a heartbreak. And this doesn't have to be revolving, like love and relationships, although it could be. But it feels like something may have happened that it was very hard for you to recover from. Like say, for example, it was like a loss or, something else unfortunate. But yeah, do you have more from this card? Should I pull some more? No. So we have departed loved ones. So they kind of mention you've had to start over. You've had to kind of like build yourself up from nothing, like maybe more than once, and that you have been through a lot of. They don't mention that you have been through tower moments though. Just that you've had to restart, maybe in quite a few different areas of your life, or yeah. Do you have more from this? And we also have Doctor, Heal Thyself. So they say that being around you is very healing. Maybe not in general, like everyone being around you is healing, but when it comes to them in particular, being around you is very healing. We also have life lessons. Yeah, so they do mention that you've had to learn a lot of lessons. Um, and that you have managed to break free from certain, things. So they do mention you being down to earth, but when it comes to the lessons that you have learned, they say that you do take on that knowledge, like it does change you and make you. That was clarified by the Ace of Swords and the Three of Pentacles. I mean, the Empress, and that it does make you wiser. And finally, what do they say about you? And finally, we have healthy communication in relationships. So they actually do mention you being much more assertive, but they do wish that you would either communicate with them or just communicate in a healthier way with them, especially if they have been communicating a lot with you, but you've been kind of disengaged when it comes to communicating with them. But yeah, that's what they mention and that's what they say to other people about you, okay? But that is all I have for those of you who chose the rose quartz, and I do hope it could be helpful to you, but I'm wishing you the best, all right? Take care. Hey, welcome to your reading. If you've chosen the second group, the blue apatite, then this reading is for you, the person on your mind. What have they been saying about you? What have they been telling people about you? Okay, so we do have the Six of Cups in reverse, and we do have the Temperance card in reverse as well. Okay, so for this group, it feels like the person you're asking about, they say you will always be in each other's lives and that they will always have love for you, that you both will have love for each other. They tell people you aren't maybe in each other's lives currently, but your bond is still very strong. They say they would do absolutely anything for you, and they say they'll remember you, like you'll always have a place in their heart. For others, this is that you're always on their mind, like they're always thinking about you. They do talk about not letting you go, like you're someone they won't let go. Let me see. This could be in a way where like you are someone that they will be conscious, of trying to keep in their life forever. Okay. They do mention you've helped them. For some of you, this is you helping them dig up the past, but only take that if it resonates. They do say you are very young at heart, and that you have a youthful spirit, and that you'll always be like that. That's just who you are, part of your character, and you'll always be like that. And this person adores you, even though they don't run around saying, like, I adore this person. People get that vibe anyway. Like the way they talk about you, when they talk about you, they get the vibe that the person you're asking about absolutely adores you. based on how they speak about you. You know, they speak very highly of you. You know, they tell people that you are a good person to have around, that you've been a very good person to have around them. They do also mention you being very good with children. If you have any of your own, they say that you're great with them. This could be children in general, you know. Maybe children feel very connected to you. Maybe you find it, you know, maybe you love children as well. But yeah, they do mention that it seems like you don't need much support. You know, they don't necessarily say that you're independent, but they do say that you prefer to do certain things alone. They do kind of mention that you are walking away from dysfunction, that you rather not have dysfunction in your life, whether that's referring that for some of you actually that could be referring to past relationships, and that's just something that you are conscious of avoiding, you know, in your interactions with people and maybe even in new connections. And even though they say that you have a very youthful spirit, they also say you've grown and you've matured. They do mention that you could get bored easily, but they do talk a lot about you not allowing your past to get in the way of your present, you know, get in the way of your future. They may not word it like that, obviously, but, you know, they do say that you have moved on from your past. Maybe who you were in the past, maybe certain past situations that were very heavy, maybe difficult, or maybe emotional. You know, even if like these were relationships or situations that you really like loved and adored, like they still, you know, they still feel like you have moved on from it. Like whether it be referring to the good stuff and the bad, you know. So they do kind of mention that you are over something that happened in the past, or you don't really consider it anymore. Like you don't maybe think about it so much, or maybe talk about it so much. Or it's like if someone brings it up, you kind of gloss over it and kind of move on to something else. But yeah, they say that you don't really want to argue with people in general, and that you do try to avoid confrontation, that you do try to avoid conflict, whether this be right now, like not right now, with specific people or just in general, or you avoid, you know, people who could potentially bring conflict into your life, whether this is people from the past or, you know, present or even future actually. But they do say you aren't interested in reconciling with someone from your past, maybe even people from your past and just your past in general, and that you're kind of just, you know, done with it and, you know, ready to leave it behind you, or you already have left it behind you. But for some of you, this could be referring to a woman, maybe an earth or a water sign, or could be referring to a dude that has a lot of feminine qualities or characteristics, or what would typically be associated with femininity. um, but yeah, but again, like this could be people from your past as a whole. Like you have zero interest in connecting with people from your past. They also mention that you have a hard time following rules, not in a bad way or anything, but just you're unique and you like to kind of color outside the lines, and that you're just on a very unique path, you know? Okay, so shy and discreet are both popped out and wanted to come out face up. So let's see what that's about. So yeah, they actually do mention to people that you are on the shyer side. They do mention that you are very low key, very discreet. This could be that you're very discreet and low key about yourself and what you have going on or what you are doing with yourself and, you know, with your life. And that maybe you prefer to remain private and keep certain areas of your life very private as well. So we also have gentle. All right, so they don't necessarily say that you're a gentle person. Like you could be someone who is rough as can be, right? But you have, they do say that you have a very gentle soul about you. Like there's something about you, like, do you know, it's just like there's something about you that's very soft, very, very gentle, even though you may not present as super gentle, maybe you don't talk very gentle, whatever it may be, but you do have a very gentle soul in this person's eyes, like the way you carry yourself, who you are as a person, like you could be very kind, maybe very generous, I don't know, yeah, very generous, like you're just a good person, you know. But yeah, anyways, we also have predictable. So they do mention you being unpredictable. This doesn't feel like it's in general though. For some of you, this is related to your work. You know, even if what you do for a living is very unconventional, it's like it's predictable that this person is going to be unique. It's predictable that this person is going to be unconventional, or it's predictable that this person is going to take risks, you know? What else? Okay. So we also have you are loved. So they do talk about you having a higher purpose on this earth, you know, or it could be in relation to your job, in relation to your lifestyle, I don't know. But something that you do has given them the impression that there is a higher purpose for you. And for a lot of you here, maybe they don't feel like you've connected with your purpose yet. Like they could feel like you have this purpose, but you are rejecting it or you aren't very interested in it. Or they kind of just feel like you will kind of get onto that purpose when the time is right for you, you know? But yes. Yeah, but they also say that they do care about you a lot. We also have stop sleeping so damn much. So they don't say anything about you sleeping a lot. It feels like they actually mention that a lot of people have slept on you. Maybe they don't use those words exactly, but they do feel like a lot of people didn't kind of give you, credit when credit was due. They didn't kind of give you acknowledgement when you needed it or when you deserved it. Yeah, so they kind of feel like they mentioned, sorry, that a lot of people underestimated you. And this could be referring to people from your past. Do you have more from this card? Sorry, a card just fell on the floor. I'm trying to get it. Okay, so we have express your feelings and we also have elevate or rise above. So they actually mention that you are someone that does appreciate vulnerability, like people being very open and direct with you. They do mention that, when people aren't direct with you or when people aren't vulnerable or open, it kind of gives you like a bad vibe or not a good feeling. It's like you can tell that someone's hiding something from you. And that's what they mention to people. They don't necessarily mention that you're psychic or anything, but they do mention that you do have this sixth sense. Yeah, and that you are very intuitive. And that for some reason you can just tell when people are lying to you and not being very upfront, which doesn't sit right with you and you don't like it. So with elevator, rise above, what do they say about you? So yeah, they say that was clarified by the chariot. So maybe you have risen above a lot of challenges, and they do mention that. Okay, so we have stay strong in your faith. A positive outcome is dependent on you keeping a positive mindset. So they say that you're actually very strong. That was clarified by the Four of Cups and the Emperor. Maybe a lot of you have overcome, feelings of apathy or feelings of, depression, even with that Four of Cups coming out, maybe self-doubt. And they do say that you are very strong, in being able to do that. For a lot of you, maybe they mention that you managed to find faith in something, maybe higher than yourself, and they're proud of you for that, or that's something that has managed to kind of keep you strong or keep you on like a steady path. And we also have balance in masculine and feminine energies. Allow your feminine side to creatively inspire you and allow your masculine side to give you confidence. So they do mention you being very balanced. Like this could be in your life in general, but also in terms of your energy, your masculine and feminine. They do feel as though like in the past, maybe that balance was off. Maybe you were more of one thing and less of the other, whereas now they kind of see you as very balanced and on the right path for yourself, 1 second. for a lot of you here, like they do feel it took you a while to find yourself, and they do mention that it seems as though you have found yourself. But anyways, that is all I have though for those of you who chose this group. I do hope it could be helpful, but I am wishing you the best. All right, take care of yourselves. Hey, welcome to your reading. If you've chosen the third group, the pink tourmaline, then this reading is for you. Okay, so the person on your mind, what do they say about you? Okay, so we have the Death card upright, and we also have the Page of Cups in reverse. Okay, so I don't know who you're asking about, but the person you are asking about, they do tell people that you've changed, but not in the best way. For some reason, they don't think you are a good person, or that you haven't been a good person recently. For some reason, it feels like they don't really say that though. They don't really say that you aren't a good person. But the way they describe you, people will kind of get that impression anyway, you know? And the reason why they say you haven't changed in the best way is because they feel you are more insensitive in their opinion. They mention you not caring about their feelings, not necessarily other people's feelings. It just feels like it is just referring to theirs. They've been telling people they want you to go back to who you used to be. They feel like that will put an end to the conflict, the arguments, the tension. You know, they do talk about you not being as flexible as you used to be. And, you know, this person that you're asking about, this may not be someone you dislike, but maybe you don't really care for them like you once did. And that's the sentiment that, you know, they kind of give off when they do talk about you. They also talk about you being extremely spiritual, or thinking that you are spiritual, but they do mention this in a negative way because they think it gives you knowledge or insight. Let me see. Maybe even for some of you, this could be like a platform that, you know, they feel like you don't deserve, or they feel like you're using it irresponsibly, or they feel like it gives you knowledge or insight or power that, you know, you shouldn't have, in their opinion. They've told a few people that you are irresponsible. They say you won or wanted a new beginning and that you got it, but they don't feel happy that you have it. So they mentioned that you were trying to change them, or you are trying to change them, or you wanted them to change. And they actually tell people that they tried to change for you, but it wasn't good enough. And they do say you can be a brat, not that you're a brat in general, or that you're like that all the time. But they do mention, you know, that they do hope things change between you both again. And they do say for some reason that you ruined someone's innocence, or you're trying to. And this could be more than one person actually. They say you've ruined the innocence of people who are impressionable or people who are younger than you. And again, like, I don't know if some of you have followers, like, or a following, but they do mention that maybe, people who follow you have like a certain level of trust in you, that you are, I don't know, again, like, it could be ruining their innocence, it could be something else that makes more sense for you, like ruining their perception on something. But anyways, they do kind of tell people that you are or can be obsessive and vindictive. They say that you have this jealous streak as well. They do mention that they really don't like who you are as a person now, and that you are or can be abusive. They do tell people that you aren't really good for them emotionally. They do mention that you can be childish at times. Not that you're like that all the time, though. They say whenever they're around you or whenever they talk to you, you kind of emit this negativity, or you give them bad news. Mm. Do you know what song just came to my head? I'm not actually sure what the song's called, but I know the line in the song that is actually playing in my head is, "Every time I see you, I get a bad vibe." I can't remember who sings that song though. Every time I see you. So yeah, anyways. So what do they say about you? Okay, so we have crazy. Sorry, I put that towards me. So for some of you, they do mention that you are kind of crazy. We also have versatile. So they do mention that you are someone that kind of typically changes a lot. For others of you, they do just mention that you are versatile in general, like whether this be your appearance. For some of you, though, this is in terms of like your personality. But yeah, it could be in terms of like music, cooking, I don't know, something a bit more innocent. We also have unfriendly. So they do tell people or a certain person that you are kind of unfriendly. We also have fearless. So they do mention you being fearless, but this is in a way where like you don't really care about repercussions. I don't know if I said that word correctly, but yeah. So what do they say about you? Okay, so we have take a shot. So what they actually say is that they took a shot on you, like they took a chance on you. And we also have whatever you're thinking about, don't do it. Now is not the time. So yeah, they do say that you are quite reckless. That you're very fiery though. You have a very fiery spirit to you. So we have gift, be present. Alright, let me pull another one actually before I start waffling. So we have gift, be present, and we also have ocean, go with the flow. My camera actually cut off there for a second, but anyways. So they actually say that you want a lot of gifts, and this feels like in a way where they kind of feel like you want a lot from people, whether this could be in terms of material stuff. This could be you want people to be present for you. I mean, for some of you, this could be referring to like an actual event. Like say, for example, it was your birthday recently and you expected a lot of gifts or certain, specific gifts and you didn't get it. But yeah, for a lot of you, like they do mention that you are demanding or you can be. So they do mention that they would like to go with the flow when it comes to you. Like they would like things to be peaceful and just like steady, like imagine being on a boat and just kind of gliding along the water. Like that's how they want it to be. What they do say is difficult or it's something that you don't want, which is something that they do mention. So we have busy times and multitasking. So they do mention that you like to keep busy in that perspective. Or that you seem busy. And finally, we have value your self-worth. So they do actually mention that you do have a lot of confidence. And it feels like they like the fact that you have confidence, they don't like to see you without it. But anyways, that is all I have though for those of you who chose this group. I hope it could be helpful more than anything else, but I'm wishing you the best, alright? Take care.